Peace, man. I'm back, man. I want to start it. I did something on another stream. Was playing around, man. Just wanted to hit y'all with some of that apply pressure. That's what we're going into with SVDL. Shouts out to SVDL, the only league. Yeah, I want to play that. That was that Casper Yanga by D Smoke. Apply that pressure. I started letting that be my little theme song up and coming to this debate with my man Minister Rio, Minister Howe, April 9th. Don't miss out on that. That's definitely going to be the debate to be there. He and I are going to do our thing, you know. So wanted to open up with some feel-good music. What's happening with y'all out there? I ain't been messing with y'all in a minute, have I? Y'all been wondering where I've been. Have y'all been missing me? Have you guys been missing me? It's been a lot going on, but I'm glad to be back, even if it's for this brief moment to share with you. But always know in my absence, I'm watching things. Your boy be watching. Pardon me, let me get right with y'all. Y'all call me on a good day. So your boy be watching. All right. So in my watching across my scanning of the world, Donald Trump pumps up in the picture again. He's never far. You know what? He's never far out of view. Is he really? I don't think he's ever really far, from some type of camera, some type of sensationalism, because that's what he is. He's a celebrity. He's a sensationalist. He knows how to whip the crowd into a frenzy. He knows how to garnish attention, to have the lights and the camera pointed in his direction by saying some of the most outlandish things possible. Donald Trump. I think Donald Trump is coming to the point that former President Trump is so outlandish in what he talks about that it even shocks his peers, his contemporaries, people within his own party. It shocks the hell out of them. He is like insane, right? So, one of the beautiful things about YouTube, man, we give thanks to the universe, to sparking man with that inspiration to create this whole internet. We also thank me. I have to acknowledge Ogun, also known as, the energy of technology and metals, which are founded in microchips. Man, because it is amazing. It has saved me so much time in my research. You can just get on here and type something in and then pops it, right? So, Donald Trump popped up, and that's largely how I do my research, is through taking advantage of this wonder called technology and this thing called an internet. You know what I'm saying? And I came across some interesting sound bites, clips, or whatever, and I wanted to share them. And then possibly we can talk about them and use them as an opportunity to politically educate, or if not politically educate, to politically reiterate, politically introduce, politically familiarize, whatever word we want to use, to some terms that are used often in mainstream media or just popular media, that which when you turn on your television. And it's not only good for you to have, but good to be able to pass on your children. Don't have your babies nowhere where people are speaking over their heads. Straight up. Don't have your babies anywhere where people are speaking over their heads. Let me see. And I'm hoping I can find some of this stuff. And that's just the simple fact. While I'm rapping to you, and I'm looking this stuff up, I'll do a little rap to you. So see what's going on. And we see what's good. I don't know. Did y'all catch who caught this scheme? And hold on, man. Let me start hooking up my other devices so I can have an attempt at multitasking here. Who caught the scheme and Queen Akasha, High Priestess Akasha debate? I caught some of it. I didn't get to sit down through all of it. I thought it was. I thought it was what I caught. I thought it was good. Hold on. Let me jump on here so I can, like I said, multitask, guys. All right. So we in here. Yo, peace to the chat. Let me and I'm gonna drop the link in a second, man, because it's gonna be. I'm gonna open up the panel. Um, but I thought I thought the debate was decent. Them scores, man, boy, the judges, y'all not playing any game, judges. You guys are not playing any games. So we better step up our game. Okay, hold on. Y'all bear with me. And I had this together, but that apply pressure just popped in on me. It was like, man, play that. Okay, let's start with here. Let's talk about Trump. Let's talk about the rhetoric, uh, and let's talk about how it can affect us directly. Even if we're not talking about the foreign policies and everything that's going on internationally with America, or even just national politics on a level that we don't see our participation. Let's talk about dangerous rhetoric, though. All of us know that person that has that mouthpiece and has that influence and sway that can incite some shit. And this is what we're dealing here with Trump. And I don't know if we really know how dangerous that is, because it isn't him per se, but it's an element with it's an element that exists and that is being, and we've known it has existed because it has existed as long as our presence has been here. We have been the recipients of the least favorable side of its existence. And now you have a man up here who is brazenly, blatantly calling to destruction and anguish and death and all the other, really, I think, are insightful words. I think are insightful words. I think if a melanated person said these very things, not only would they be facing the gross charges that he's facing, the indictment coming down, which the grand jury met today. I think they're going to hand down an indictment on this Stormy Daniels. So that goes into that, what this is about. But let me end my first point about how dangerous rhetoric can be and how we must be on the alert, how we must be vigilant. I would even advise that if you can practice your Second Amendment right and bear arms. I know in Georgia and I believe a few other states across the union have enacted constitutional carry. If you possess the right to do that, please go get you some protection, exercise your right to constitutional carry, join a gun club, learn gun safety, and not just gun safety, vigilance, threat assessment, and how to de-escalate or outright stop something from being more disastrous than it has to be. You know what I'm saying? What I'm trying to tell you. All within the confines and content of what they've laid out, but never believed that we would take advantage of. Let me tell you, Trump's call to these to destruct, should he be indicted, and the some would say veiled threats. I don't see what is veiled when you say that if I'm indicted, there will be a certain destruction or death or some type of reprisal or repercussion towards the system, not the people who indicted me. Then they towards the system and inciting your followers who are yahoos and half literate any goddamn way. Excuse my language. Who are miserable at their existence And largely his large based or disgruntled white people who want to blame their lack of ingenuity, their lack of intellect, their lack of hard work, and their inability to advance naturally in a fair competition. They want to blame that on the state and us and why they're in their miserable position. Hell, you've had 475, 500 freaking years. You still had the laws, policies, and procedures stacked against us, swaying in your favor. Judicial system swaying in your favor. The education system swaying in your favor. Hell, even the nutritional system. If you've been in our grocery stores and been in their grocery store, they're Whole Foods. Have you been in there? Yes, the prices are ridiculous, but the foods are fabulous. So we've been at the brunt end of this system. And so to come up and be upset because the very system you robbing with your tax evasion, you're not robbing us, you're robbing the rich, the very people that you profess to be in favor of. But see, that's what it does. You know, you at one hand has to wash the other. You have to look away because you robbing. Y'all robbing the system and then be crying about social fucking programs. Then be crying about the poor people's campaigns and programs and nutrition and all the things that accompany a quality filled life, basic essentials, complaining about having to fund that. Yet you're robbing us and your peer group of millions. Tax evasion. And you robbing and complaining about social program. You don't even want to share. Greedy as hell. And then you have somehow influenced the general masses. Not even the general masses, a little group, a little segment. Oh, what a job that I don't. A little segment of society to go along with you. Am I still here? Y'all still rocking with me? Because I'm trying to multitask. I didn't even know. That's what's dangerous. And so this segment of society, what they will do, the more illiterate, the more political illiterate, because believe me, it's not just Black people who don't participate in political information or participate in any form of political process. You have tons of white people that don't get involved in that shit. However, they're afforded the system being based on white supremacy, which gives an umbrella of white privilege and white entitlement. So they're not being involved directly, indirectly, societal-wise, and all that you have caters and pampers to them. So they don't have to be directly involved. So we go to Trump. So no. So let me take that. Let me continue on that thought. So them not having to be directly involved in you. So you have those that are politically ignorant. And I don't say that in a bad way because many of us are politically ignorant. I mean it in the general sense of not general sense of the word or however you take it, but when you break it down, ignorant. We ignore it, willfully ignorant. We're ignorant of politics. So we're politically ignorant. We ignore it. And you have many white people that are politically ignorant on that level of its participation, but they do feel and they do identify with social cultural ramifications of not having and the victory of having. Basically, i.e. being white. Trump is their white champion. A lot of y'all gonna get mad at me for this, but I had likened Trump to the white Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad in a sense, not in moral, not in character, not in substance, not in fiber, but in the ability to mobilize and stir a crowd based on cultural either disgruntlement or cultural pride and awareness. He's masterful. He's masterful. That's right, New Era. Politics is more, let me put that up there. So, politics is more structure or codex into a life of servitude, indeed. So when you have these type of people like that, and they identify with a social culture, they have the social culture, like I said, either pride or disgruntlement. They want to act out. They want to become champions of that. They feel like Trump is a champion of it. You saw it in January 6th when they stormed the Capitol. What I saw was an outright revolt. I saw insurrection. I saw disgruntled white folk storming the Capitol, breaking the law. I believe someone died. I saw a brother was backpedaling up them steps. I don't know. It might have been a chance to use my. I'd have said halt one time. Somebody had to tell me something after that. I got a sidearm. If they keep coming after that, they dead serious. You know what I'm saying? Couple of them dropped, they still coming. They dead serious. But it was an invasion, an outright invasion. They trashed the place. Some people hold their government to be sacred. So then that was sanctimonious. They went in the offices and took pictures. I'm sure somewhere they broke some type of confidential law. That's terrorist fucking act. But since they were white, we all know that. I don't even have to go through all of that. But it's those type of people that he can incite, not people like, yo, man, I don't want to down us, but let's just keep it real in the forms of our protests and our disgruntlement. We'll get out there. No, we'll tell you, yeah, we're black, like we'll shout till we hoarse. We'll do all of that. They get stupid. But white privilege affords them that stupidity. And we see what happened, white privilege have you. They storm the Capitol and they walk, they do a little time. I know Negroes are doing more time for jaywalking. You hear me? They're doing more time for far less than storming the goddamn Capitol. Yet this is the world that we live in. I mean, it is blatant discrimination and racism at its finest. There's no way around it. You can't close it. It is right there in your face. So when you have those type of people supporting you, willing to break the law in the most absurd, in the and also volatile, dangerous way, then we have to be on the lookout, because you'll get a Yahoo to go to Kmart and get, or they don't have Kmarts anymore. Walmart put them out of business. That will go to Walmart. Peace, MD. Peace, fam. That will go to Walmart, buy one of these rifles, and gonna get them a good old boy. Gonna get them someone indiscriminately. See, this is what we have to worry about white folks. White folks indiscriminately kill. White folks indiscriminately kill. Black people indiscriminately kill by accident. Is that possible? These Negroes killing because they shooting their pookie, but they dumb and shoot up the freaking birthday party. White folks just get pissed because Trump didn't get elected or Trump got indicted, and ride around looking for a brother jogging, grocery store, just walk through and indiscriminately kill black people, Latino people, Asian people, anybody that is non-white. I say exercise your Second Amendment right if you possess that right, and be vigilant. Join a gun club, learn threat assessment and ways to de-escalate or outright neutralize the threat. No time to play games. You got this lunatic. So he's pissed because he actually, I think, his popularity is going up, this and that. He could really give a real run. If not give a real run, he at least, and run, I mean run for the presidency. At least, if not give a real run, at the very least, he could cause a big problem for the Republican Party. Big problem. He holds the base. So he could be a big problem. So, and he's a madman, so they have to do something with him. I think what they're trying to do is, really what the word is, what they've been saying, what I've observed is really quiet him. They're even distancing themselves with this rally and Rayco he did with January 6th. I'm going to show the film. They're distancing themselves. They're running DeSantis. They want that to be their guy. But they have to do something with Trump. Trump is a thorn in their side now. So politically, he's a thorn in their side to do the bullshit that they're doing. If you Trump and DeSantis, Mr. Get rid of critical race theory, Mr. Lock Florida down like you wouldn't believe, then Trump must be a villain. Either or. It spells disaster and doom for us, but I'm telling you now, in the climate that Trump is whipping up right now, be ever vigilant. Don't trust nothing pale-faced, buttermilk complected coming in your community at this time. I'm going to say it. If it look like a good, yes, even the police. Don't trust the police. One of your defense mechanisms in your community, tell them get all the police that work a beat in your community. You need to know their names. Someone is in your community with a gun. I don't care if he got a uniform on and a badge. Sucker got a gun. You need to know who he is. Get his name. We don't need no oops and ohs. Familiarize yourself real quick. I familiarize myself with him real quick. I see him sitting in my name. I walk to the car. Hey, officer. They look, whoa, is it something I should be alerted for? Look on the lookout for? I live right around here. And, I see two gentlemen in my neighborhood with guns. No, we just know, what's your name? Don't worry about that. I'm asking yours. Shit. I be watching, I'm going to tell you something. I watch them audit the police, and I'll go look some of that stuff up just in case. Like, I'll find out I travel a lot. I'll find out if I'm in a right to identify state or not. Some states, you don't have to give them nothing. Like you said, what crime am I suspected of? Why are you identifying me? In some states, you got to turn it over. That's how they be snatching these cats out of these cars, running warrants. Give me your license, too. Find out what state you in, no, sir. They might run you anyway, but they got to work for it. You might have a lawsuit. You might get a case dismissed. Whatever. Let them work for it. They show up on their body cam. I didn't consent to none of that. And they ran my ID legally or whatever. Shit, no, sir. You stop being scared to say no in the beginning. Okay, anyway, that's a whole nother live. Let's get back to this sucker MC, Donald Trump. Y'all make me bust out my rap voice. Why y'all ain't contacting me for a plug, Solar, Angel, Commissioners? We do a little something for SVDL. I'm just fucking with you. On some real talk, man, this dude with the rhetoric. This guy with the rhetoric. That is absolutely dangerous. This guy. So, and if it incites that type of Yahoo, are we ready for it? Are we ready for the Ruth Dillage that walked into the church and opened fire? He is inciting. So what is he pissed about? He's indicted. What is he pissed about? He had hush money for some coochie. A porn star. Peace to the commissioner, Angel. A porn star. Hush money. And I'm not quite certain if it was campaign money, but I know it was over 100,000 some odd. Paid her to be quiet. And it leaked. And just like big wigs involved in that type of stuff, they can't directly do anything. So what they do is they have liaisons. They have people who do those things for them. And that hurts because it hurt him. So he has these liaisons that went and they brokered the deal and they got the money and all of this good stuff. And they were covered at one point in time, or they thought they were. See, he tried to outslick the system. That's how you know the system don't work. It don't even work for them. When they want you, they're going to get you. That's what Trump's pissed about. He found out the American dream wasn't an American dream for all. All of you can't actually rob, steal, lie, and cheat your way to the top. They got a glass ceiling even for your ass, Trump. They said you did too damn much. You're thinking too big. You got ahead of yourself. That's what you did. You was thinking too big. Too reminiscent of Hitler. You're doing too much. And you still doing the most. You still dangerous for us people out here in the everyday streets, going to work, trying to get on to get along. You dig where I'm coming from? We don't have time for this bullshit, Trump. And you whipping up these white boys to get their ass whooped or to get blown away. I'm telling my people to be vigilant, and I'm telling you if it looks like shit, then it stinks. Ask why that pickup truck keep riding through the damn hood. Some of them young homies need to step to him, wave him down, flag, and do it. I ain't talking about doing a Reginald Denny. Any of y'all remember the Rodney King riot? Remember Reginald Denny? I'm not calling to violence. No. But I'm just saying, you know, I'm not like, look, hey, boom, 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 beat the hood, hey, white boy. Twice, you done rolled through here twice. Now, if I had the wrong color on, or the wrong tattoo, or the wrong baseball cap, you Negroes will be ready to stop me, ask where I'm from. If I say nowhere, you won't know where my daddy from then. Where your grandmama from, nigga? You gonna make me claim something. Make them claim something. Shit. Sitting around here waiting to see what's gonna happen. Waiting to see what's really gonna happen. Okay. Absolutely. And I believe that. I don't think you can ever nullify hate. I think it's a wasted time. Who cares? What we want to stop, though, are the instruments that they use to express their hate towards us. I don't give a damn if you hate me, but you ain't gonna keep using these police to exercise and to manifest your hate. I'm waiting for the day when we manifest self-love. We can say it, but now we need to manifest it. You can hate, have your hate, but keep that shit to yourself. My mama told me keep your goddamn hands to yourself. And you tell somebody hit you, baby, you tell them your mama said to tell them they mama should have told them to keep their damn hands to themselves. So when they manifest hate, we have to manifest self-love, self-preservation, an absolute given right from the universe has been having a presence here on this planet called Earth. And this white boy was smart enough to incorporate it in their laws to ensure that man would have the right to self-preservation, to defend themselves, life, liberty, and the pursuit, and to pursue what they deem to be a happy, quality-filled life. So it's not, we have to move past the point of asking them for it. We have to do it. And then when we bust one of their ass, then we tell them why because life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Not give us life, liberty, and it's like, bah, why you did that? Life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. That's why. That's why. Indeed. Plus, let me send this again, man. Shouts out to SVDL. Shouts out to Commissioner Angel. MD, congratulations, big dog. MD stepping up, stepping into the folds of the debaters amongst SVDL, amongst the Solar Division Debating League. I'm looking forward to getting that MD, man, having a good discourse and going back and forth and shit. You know how we get it. We was heated on the arena. So we only going to bring that smoke, that energy, that passion to the league, man. But congratulations. I'm going to be there, big dog. Oh, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. I love the hound sessions because it's like the debaters shucklebuck. Shucklebuck? Hucklebuck. Shucklebuck. All that shit. It's like our opportunity to shucklebuck. So I love the hound sessions. I hate when I miss out. I am definitely setting my schedule. I got to get up there and haggle my man MD. I know Trevor. I know you're gonna be up there to take your shot. I know Black Sun. I hope to see Blue Scheme. All of us show up. Let's welcome him to the league big time. Let's welcome MD league style. You dig? Let's set a precedent. Let's welcome. If you survived the hound session, man, you'd have earned your league stripes. Let's let him know what he's stepping into. Looking forward to that on Sunday. Yo, Bim. Let me get back though. I don't want to digress and lose my pace on because I'm hyped, man. I'm amped. Am I allowed to be hyped with y'all? I've been away for a minute. I've been going through a lot, getting a lot in. Uh, some things going on. I'm gonna have to share with you what I'm doing with in the field, man. In Mississippi, now the tornado has hit Mississippi, dealing with some Cop City. We've just been asked to participate in the Juneteenth parade, so be on the lookout for sending shouts out, invitation to, and I'm gonna send out contact information for my Black Liberation Soldiers Armed Defense. Will put that together. I'll get you in contact with the people that you need to be in contact with, and just all right Black lovers, people, Black people lovers, promoting the culture lovers in Atlanta. Juneteenth, look, go to the website Juneteenth ATL, JuneteenthATL.com, JuneteenthATL.com. Go to the website. I'm going to be having more about that. Now I want to talk about, though, I want to get back to Trump. Let me get back to Trump. All right. So we talked about his rhetoric. So what's he mad about? He's mad that he was indicted because he put some hush money on some coochie. He got the little porn star. He didn't want her to say nothing. Over $100,000, like I was saying earlier, that when you're at a certain, I guess, level or whatever, I don't roll like that. I don't have an entourage like that, liaisons and shit. But you must have people, I guess, to do your dirty work and dirt. But like all the time, the more people to know, that if one person knows, everybody knows. When this thing hits the fan, maybe he thought they would be covered by executive privilege, which means they would never have to testify against him having been the president and all this type of stuff, and them having been under his employment. However, cancel that. Canceled it. Bust his head with it. They said they are not covered by executive privilege. Means they have to testify. And the one who set the deal up, I believe, is scheduled to testify today. They all have to testify. Who got the money, the person who set the deal, who broke it, probably even the cat that got the hotel room. They want them all. So this is what he's being indicted on. So he's indicted, but true to typical Trump fashion, man, Trump doesn't go out with a flare. Let me tell you about this guy is a celebrity, man. This guy, like, he doesn't go out without a flare. Okay? Even in his being indicted, he finds time to threaten the prosecutor, who is a Black man, by the way, with some of the most inflammatory photos, some of the most outrageous freaking photos. He got a bat. He got a picture of my man with his hands up, like, hands up, don't shoot. And he's standing behind him with a bat. They used to call me Joe Clark. Now they call me Batman. Come on. And it was so egregious. It was so gross. The picture is just so ugly that some of his key supporters are distancing themselves. It's crazy. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. So this is so let's go to, I got my little copyright thing up there, man. I hope they don't, hit me later for this, because, this is some good stuff. Let's talk about, let's go into, let's go into the hold on.
Want to do something that matters?
I'm trying to get us together here. We're going to go into let's go into the threats. Let's go into the threats. Okay. Let's see what they're talking about. This one I couldn't find the one I was looking for, so I'm just gonna go. We just gonna build with what we got, And like I said, I'm gonna open up the panel in a minute. Just gonna build for a hot second. because this is actually. Oh no, this ain't what I'm looking for. Okay, okay, y'all bear with me. I tell you what, let's go into. Oh, okay, yeah, let's go to this one. Let's see if this is what I'm looking. It may not be, but we'll see if we get some love from it. Let's do what we do, fam. Connection not beating like I like for it to. Okay, so we're gonna attempt to go into this video. Okay, yeah, we're gonna attempt to go into this video, and let's listen to some of this rhetoric. Oh, and let's listen to some of this rhetoric. All right, all right, all right. I don't know what it's doing. It's give me a second here. There we go. No, this is the one. It's not quite the one I'm looking for, but we'll go along with this. For whatever reason, universe wants me to play this one, and we'll do that. So, all right. So let's, all right, team. This is I don't know what's going on with my thing, but we're gonna take that down for a minute. Let's just remove that until we get up and running. And yeah, because my connection here sucks. And let me see what's going on with it.
So-called deep state out of Washington. So they still see the former president doing those things, and they hope that he will continue to, should he win a second term, which of course they want him to.
And Katie, you've covered so much of this before, and you covered the Trump White House. I'm curious, you hear Republicans on Capitol Hill when they're talking about their support for Trump say that they want to focus on his policies, that they like his policies. Major Garrett and Catherine Watson, who join us now. Major is CBS News chief Washington correspondent, and Catherine is CBSNews.com and White House and politics reporter. Okay, a lot on your time there.
Pardon me, fam. Pardon me, fam. We handling all the business. Okay, so let me hold on.
The first of his official, I should say, of his presidential campaign this time around. He played the
Okay, so this isn't actually what I'm looking for. This isn't actually what I'm looking for. This isn't actually what I'm looking for, but we're gonna play it just to get it started, and then to get it going. This is talking about the rally. I wanted to go into it. I had it lined up. I got a lot going on. I had it lined up because I wanted us to hear the threats, the actual threats that Trump posted, and then go into the foolishness of his rally. Like when you think the threats was like, he was like, how idiotic can this man be? You're issuing threats. You can call them veiled if you want to, but when you're saying if I'm indicted, then there's going to be trouble. Shit, that's a threat. If you do this to me, this is going to happen. That's a threat. Then you go and you have a rally actually celebrating the very insurrectionist, the rebels that stormed the Capitol. Even with your own, I forgot what they call it. They got this knockoff alternate universe version of the national anthem. It's fantastic. And when I say fantastic, I mean fantastic in the sense of unfucking believable. It's unbelievable. Like, and he's dead serious. Look at his face when he's doing all of this. This man got problems. Let's go to it. Let's see what they talking about. This is not the one, but let's see what they talking about. Oh, I gave him a little share.
This video with January Major Garrett and Catherine Watson, who joined video with
my bad, fam. There we go.
For more on this, let's turn to Major Garrett and Catherine Watson, who join us now. Major is CBS News Chief Washington Correspondent, and Catherine is CBSNews.com and White House and Politics reporter. Okay, a lot on your titles there. Katie, I want to start with you because you were actually at this rally that Trump had in Waco, Texas, the first of his official, I should say, of his presidential campaign this time around. He played this video with January 6th rioters who have been jailed kind of against the national anthem. You were there on the ground. This stood out to you. What was the reaction like from the crowd there?
Sure. Well, Caitlin, supporters at the former president's rally were just kind of listening, watching in rapt attention as this video played, as you said, to the national anthem. Part of the video had actually a part of the assault on the Capitol from January 6th to the words, "the bombs bursting in air." And while the crowd was mostly silent while watching that, it was really silent, certainly when the Capitol assault was playing. They did cheer when President Trump and the American flag showed up.
Let's talk about that part. Did you hear this? Okay, so at the rally, at the Waco rally, this is after the indictment. This is after the threat. We may stumble across that. At the Waco rally, he opens the rally with a group called the January 6th Choir. And I wish I could remember the name of this song. It's a rendition. It's a version of, I call it an alternate universe version. Listen, I'm a geek. Here's my geek is about to come out. I'm in the comic books, and there is an alternate universe that there's a character called Bizarro. Bizarro Superman lives in, and he's the alternate of Superman. So this song reminded me of that. It's same cadence, same type of melodies, but it's somehow, and I don't even know all the words, it felt morbid. It felt a perversion. And that's strange for me because I'm not even a patriot. I guess maybe because I just grew up on the Star Spangled Banner, that hearing this, it felt a perversion of that. If I was a patriot, I'd be livid. So not only have you created this version, it is accompanying the assault, the outright insurrection. Let's call it what it is. Let's call it what it is. It was a failed coup d'etat. I don't know what they thought they were going to accomplish, whatever, but they stormed, they did some things. This is what Trump is on. Y'all don't see that. This is what he's on. His heroes are dictators and tyrants. Death posts. This is what he's on. And what you saw is like January 6th was a reenactment of every coup d'etat in the world. I mean, the people stormed the Capitol. They run around, they storming and shit and waving flags and shit. Turn on any news source. Go to your internet and Google coup d'etat in one of these countries. You will see the same imagery, different flags. So you open up you're already in protest. You've already called your people. You've already, to me, incited, sedition. You've incited sedition. But since you white, I guess they're going to play with you. Don't you know H. Rap Brown? They got a law on the books called the Rap Brown Law, that he was charged with inciting a riot. I believe he was in Cambridge at the time. That I'm not quite whoever. I need my Black Power historians jump up here, back a brother up. Where was H. Rap Brown when they tried to lock him up? I don't believe they got him. I believe he escaped custody. And they enacted the H. Rap Brown law. Where was he? But the H. Rap Brown, guess what? It was enacted in inciting a riot. Why was it enacted? What was the words he said? Burn, baby, burn. How different is that from if I'm indicted, if I'm locked up, if I'm incarcerated, then there's going to be destruction or death or something like that to follow. So yeah, he's opening up his rally in Waco with the very insurrectionists, the very rebels, criminals. They're in jail now, so I can call those white boys and white girls and all those people that participated in that type of activity criminal. It was criminal. All right, let's go back to the video.
But really, people were watching with a lot of attention and cheered at the very end.
And Major, I'm curious what you think of that dynamic, because you have literally written a book on election denialism. Republicans on Capitol Hill have argued that they want to move on from January 6th. We had a midterm election in which Republicans who championed these false election claims lost. What do you make of the former president launching his presidential campaign, his third, with this kind of video?
So the video and the crowd's reaction to it is no longer about election denialism or rejectionism. It is about the embodiment of an idea and a reformulation of what American patriotism actually means. Trump identifies himself as a true patriot, and anyone who disagrees with him as a questionable patriot, even in the Republican Party. So it's a redefinition of patriotism, and what he wants to say is that if you came to the Capitol to delay the peaceful transfer of power in support of him, and only him, you are a patriot. And if you didn't...
What? He's redefining what patriotism is. He's setting himself up to be the icon. He's setting himself up to be the poster boy of patriotism. Like my man's going on to say, he's saying that his ideology and philosophy, his no ways and more ways, because essentially that's what he's pushing when he's pushing his fascism. No ways, more ways, custom traditions, a superiority, reinforcing or reiterating what America already promotes, and that's white supremacy or superiority. So he's reclassifying, or I don't say reclassifying. What I do is I say the resurgence of what patriotism is. Make America great again. That's what patriotism is. And he's extolling, by playing that video, this white man is saying that he's extolling. He's sitting here big upping, sending props out. Shouts out to that January 6th. Shouts out to them fools that ran up in the Capitol. Killed them a fool. Took some shit. And just like these young niggas be doing, took Facebook posts and Instagram posts with the murder weapon. But they receive, but you know what? Here's the difference between them and us: white privilege. Slap on the wrist. Slap on the damn wrist. Man, the federal charge. You stormed the Capitol. Y'all got a couple years chilling. Notoriety, fame. A lot of y'all gonna get book deals. Gonna be on everybody's talk show. You did them couple years, you got richer. You got brothers wrongfully convicted and don't get no money, book deals and shows and things of that nature. Man, it's sickening. It's sickening. So this is what he's saying, that this is who Trump is extolling: criminals, like I said earlier.
You might not be. And the crowd's willingness to sort of buy into that is part and parcel of the core of the Trump movement. The Trump defines patriotism. Trump defines what it means to be a loyal American, and anyone outside of that confine is under scrutiny and possibly worse.
I mean, to that point, Katie, you also heard the former president, express these grievances about this investigation in Manhattan. And he essentially said, what they're doing to me, they're actually doing to you. I'm curious. I know you talked to a lot of folks on the ground there. Did you hear them kind of echoing that sentiment as well?
Well, I would certainly say, Caitlin, that this idea that exactly what you said, the former president said Saturday, they're not coming after me, they're coming after you, is something that resonates with Trump supporters. And the thing that I heard again and again at this rally, and something I've heard at many previous rallies, I've covered many of them, is they see former President Trump as someone who fights for them and someone who will save the country, who will save America. Save America from what? Now you can ask 10 different Trump supporters that question, and they will give you 10 different answers. It may be something to do with putting prayer back in schools, is one answer I heard Saturday. It might have something to do with addressing what many of his supporters see as corruption in politics, as Republicans in name only, getting the so.
You hear that? This is what I was talking about, placing himself to be that iconic figure that America is great again. He will be that image. He's going to be the white man to be politically correct or politically incorrect. He'll be that white man. I'll be that brass white man to be politically incorrect. And I'll go out and I'll say what you wouldn't say, what isn't cool to say, what could cause you some problems or some troubles, quite possibly cause you a black eye or fat lip if said in the wrong company. I'll say it. And that's what he did. And what he did was just fuel the imagination of white America. Like she said, they say Trump's their man, Trump's the champion. He's going to take us back to that day. He's going to deliver us. They said, she said, deliver us from what? Ask 10 different Trump supporters, you get 10 different answers. He's the great white hope. He's the great white hope. He doesn't have, one of Trump's powers is to bring politics to the layman. Politics has been an elitist game for years. Its politics is courtesanship. When they got rid of the monarchy, when they got rid of the courtesan, when they got rid of the court, the Machiavellis and the things like that, the courtesan and courtesanship in being in a court, living under a king or a queen, and introduced their so-called version of democracy and this system of government. The president replaced the king, and the courtesans, the whole courtesanship idea was replaced by lobbyists and politicians. The political game is the courtesanship game. And it has been a very elitist game for a long time. And what Trump did was come and bring that to the people, to the layman. Obama did the same thing, but he didn't have to work as hard because Obama was black. So he brought in the masses with a lot of that. And like, he just brought them in because they be like, I could have cared less about all that. I'm one who will say I was caught up in the nostalgia. I was caught up in thumbing my nose at America. I don't care if he's half black. I don't care if the African side, that black side is African. I don't care nothing about that. I could not help but to giggle that a melanated person, biracial, whatever, was sitting in the fucking White House. I was ticking on that. He didn't have to do shit else. I know he didn't run on a Black Panther platform. I wasn't looking for black power overnight. He didn't run on none of that. He's into politics. I didn't lose my damn mind and think Jesus had returned, but I was tickled that America had, I'm not going to say reached, had digressed, because if I'm looking from a white supremacy standpoint, had digressed to such a state that they had to put a nigga in the White House. It just tickles the hell out of me. Okay. So, Trump. So this is what he's basically doing here. He's put himself up to be the icon, to be that poster child. He is the great white hope amongst some of the most illiterate white masses of Americans that could exist. And they're a bunch of freaking yahoos, and they're on a feel good. Trump is giving them a revival. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if them old school tent revivals. It is a Woodstock concert. It is a pep rally. And they don't know what they're there for. Like she said, ask 10 different people. They'll give you 10 different things. They're not there for any specifically reason. And then that it is a, like Hitler did, it is a rally. And he's doing what Hitler did, espouse a bunch of bullshit with a crowd up. It ain't no clear agenda, just supremacy. Now his agenda is not just supremacy, but don't let them get me because I'm great supremacist leader. I'm the great fascist leader. If they get me, then this is a sign. America's gonna fall, America's gonna crumble. And you got these yahoos who actually believe it, and they think because they are a volatile people, and they would quite possibly think that if they perform acts of violence, and what not scares me but concerns me about them is that their acts of violence will be random. And they could quite possibly think if they commit enough random acts of violence that somehow, maybe, uh they will reconsider the elections or whatever. Who knows? I mean, you're talking about white people. You tell me shit. I don't know. Sky's the limit when it comes to barbarity and torture and atrocities. Sky is the freaking limit. So who knows what they could quite possibly be thinking? I'm just saying, be vigilant. I bet you I'm saying that.
So-called deep state out of Washington. So they still see the former president doing those things, and they hope that he will continue to, should he win a second term, which of course they want him to.
And Katie, since you've covered so much of this before and you covered the Trump White House, I'm curious, you hear Republicans on Capitol Hill when they're talking about their support for Trump say that they want to focus on his policies, that they like his policies, and that's why they're united around him. This re-election bid, or I should say new election bid, is really seeming to be geared more towards these grievances. I mean, did you hear him talk at all really about his tenure as president, or was it more focused on these investigations?
He certainly did talk about his presidency some. He talked about foreign policy to an extent. He talked about China and Russia actually saying that they are less of a threat to America than American leaders like Mitch McConnell, Chuck Schumer, President Biden. He certainly addressed some of the things he would like to accomplish in a second presidency. He claimed, or a second term, I should say, he claimed that he would end Russia's war in Ukraine after winning the election, but before even taking office. Of course, he had a lot to say on things like schools and gender identity politics, these sorts of things that have become very key and core issues for the Republican base. But yes, he did address his presidency some. I would also note that he more than once brought up the 2020 election, again, calling it rigged, of course, something that has become a repeated theme for him and for his supporters. And he claimed that he won the 2020 election by much more than he won the 2016 election, which was clearly not correct.
Major Garrett and Katie Watson, thank you both very much.
He's a crybaby. I won more than they say I won. All that good stuff.
Recordings just got better.
Let's get us right. So all that good stuff. Trump is something else. So he says one of his claims is he could stop the war in Russia. He could stop the war in Russia. Now I'd have to look more into it, but I think that goes into too. Didn't they say that he was in cahoots with Putin? So, yeah. Kara called him that. Okay, so let's see. That was not what I wanted, but there is so much more. Like you said, the grand jury's meeting again. You have to pardon me. The grand jury's meeting again. Pardon me one moment.
Welcome back, everybody. A Manhattan grand jury investigating former
Okay, sorry about that, fam. Got issues, had issues. Uh yeah, so that's that, man. So what do you think? I mean, listen, it's there. Let me put the chat out here. Now let me open up, man. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. If y'all want to jump up for a few more minutes, man, I'll hang out. Why not? We sitting here talking about Trump, talking about some general things. If you want to, MD, jump on up here if you free, man. I'm gonna put this, like I said, let me put this in here. Jump up. We can talk about we can talk about your coming to the league. What you think about that? But just open for some general discussions. I just wanted to put out the alert. I wanted to put out the alert. That we had to be on the lookout for the rhetoric, this thing, and what was going on with Trump. How he's stoking these white people. You know what? In fact, let's play another video real quick. Let's talk about this. Is the grand jury supposed to meet today? So let's play a video. Grand jury, see what they're talking about. We'll check out the news together. How about that? Talk about this stuff together.
Former President Trump is meeting again today.
Yeah, over the weekend, the former president, who is running again for the nation's highest office, held a campaign rally in Waco. And there he attacked the multiple investigations against him. Naomi Ruckham reports from the New York courthouse.
Under tight security, Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg arrived at his office Monday morning, days after former President Donald Trump labeled him an animal. Trump continued his attacks on those investigating him at a campaign rally Saturday in Waco, Texas.
Prosecutorial misconduct is their new tool, and they are willing to use it at levels never seen before in our country.
Bragg impaneled a grand jury to investigate whether Trump may have falsified records in connection with a 2016 payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels. The former president has denied any wrongdoing and posted about potential death and destruction should he be charged. He also posted a photo of himself holding a baseball bat next to a photo of Bragg. On Friday, the DA.
I hear that. That was the point. I'm glad we did play one more video. Did y'all hear that? That should he be charged? Death and destruction. It don't get more, to me, it don't get more blatant than that. That isn't a threat. How many of y'all think that y'all could get away with saying, that's why when they lock you up, they say anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. And this pig is putting the handcuffs on you. And you turn around and say, you lock me up, there's going to be death and destruction. First thing they're going to ask, just to make sure they heard you correctly before they bust your head and put another charge on you, is, did you just threaten me, sir? Isn't that what they tell you? I don't know if any of y'all have ever really been in that close of a confrontation with the pig, with the police. But I have. And that's one of the first things, did you just threaten me, sir? So it's going to be hard for you to get me to believe that if you're saying that if you lock me up or something, there's going to be death and destruction. That there's going to be death and destruction. And then turn around, and this is a brother here. This is a black man. I'm not going to be so loose with the brother word, but this is a melanated person. This is a black man. And you turn around, he has a picture of him with his hands up. I mean, for all the pictures to use, for some reason, that just stands out to me. Is it me? Is it just me? For whatever reason, that just stands. Why would you use that picture? I mean, it just baffles the imagination. Like, that speaks to some sick, sadistic side of you. Hands up is a submission position. And for us in the black community, it really resonates a personal mantra. It is something that now has been incorporated into the black movement as a slogan of, defiance, of showing you your overaggression, your bestiality. Hands up, don't shoot. I'm not the threat here, you are. That's what this speaks to. So to choose that picture, man, it's like, man, that speaks to some deeper sadistic psychosis with this man. He's sick, right? He's sick. So then you choose that photo and you stand behind the man with a baseball bat. How crazy is that? How crazy is that? What is that speaking to? You know what I'm saying? I mean, honestly, let's not be, and what I'm pointing out here is how dangerous this particular man is, and the energy that surrounds him. And even if you don't believe in this energy, or like, oh, Yanga, you being spooky, the very real message he's sending out to people who follow him, like they say, birds of a feather. So if you already have a volatile, violent people and you're legitimizing a false grievance and giving them permission to exercise their violence, that is dangerous. And it should be constituted as a threat. And it baffles the hell out of me how the government doesn't see that as a threat and slap one more charge on them. In fact, ban them from all action. I mean, I think at that point, I know there's freedom of speech, but it has this somewhere in the law is unless it incites or invokes harm to people. I think that could fall under that somewhere and stop this man's rhetoric. For someone gets killed. And if not, then you, minority people, black people, Latino people, Asian people, at this time, I'm giving a heads up to all the people, especially my people, but heads up to all of y'all. Be on the lookout for the yahoos. Be on the lookout.
Received a death threat in a letter sent to his office.
We will not be intimidated as a community by threats, and we're here to watch our DA's back.
On Monday, Democratic lawmakers in New York held a news conference in support of Bragg and the investigation.
Let the process continue, and no one, absolutely no one, is above the law.
In addition to this case here in Lower Manhattan, the former president faces other criminal investigations, including one concerning the January 6th Capitol attack. In that special counsel probe, former top aides are being compelled to testify before a federal grand jury, including former Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and former national security officials Robert O'Brien and John Ratcliffe, increasing the pressure on Trump. Naomi Rockham, CBS News, New York.
That one is protection. That one is protection. They got to testify, baby. Hold on, let me get back on it. Ain't no more of that. They got to testify. Uh-oh, did I lose MD? What's going on? I'm doing too much. Hold on, let me get my man back up here.
Hey, Yang, I'm here. Okay. Can you hear me?
I think that did it.
24 years of excellence.
Oh, man. No.
Out of the park baseball 24.
Okay, everything's going on. Y'all hold on. Bear with me for a minute. Okay, we're going to get it. And let's get MD up here. Did I get it?
Peace, you hear me now?
There we go. What's good, man?
All right, peace. How you doing, man?
Okay,
can I be heard?
We're gonna get...
Yeah, I don't know if I can be heard or not.
No, I can hear you, MD.
Okay. We got Son up here too. Uh-oh. Can I get you guys? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I can hear you, Gang.
Yeah, I can hear MD and you.
I don't know why I don't have a. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I can hear y'all now. That was my connection.
Okay.
What's good, man? What's good, fellas? Uh-oh. What the hell? It's like a reunion. What the hell going on with you guys?
Peace, Yang. How you doing, man?
Peace. I'm good, MD, man. How you doing? Congratulations, little brother. Welcome to the league, man. That's what's cracking, man.
No doubt. Yeah, Sunday I should be having my house session on Sunday. So
absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, interesting for you to bring up these points here. Again, and you know, we've been saying this for like a couple months now. There's a paradigm shift in the Republican Party. Everybody knows that.
Right.
You know what I mean? When what I think needs to happen is I think this is the opportune time for us to take advantage politically of the situation. I don't think we're gonna do it because you know we so invested when it comes to the Democratic Party. So you know that's unfortunate. But at the same time, it's going like these GOP Republicans are trying to get away from the information campaign that is MAGA, and that you know, I mean hell, we got a self-proclaimed MAGA Republican on the panel right now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
I don't have the issue that I have with MAGA is not necessarily the policy. It's the I guess you could say blatant.
Okay.
Go
you
ahead.
know what though? Let me put a pin in it right here because you know this is a step down from the arena. You have to start from square one. You have to explain the difference between a mega Republican and a general Republican.
Well, I mean, so if we're talking about a GOP Republican, we're talking about today in 2023, a GOP Republican has a very conservative viewpoint on how they view policy. Whether that be right, wrong, or indifferent, that ain't the discussion right now. A MAGA Republican, and again, my opinion or definition may be different from Blackstone's definition. My opinion of a MAGA Republican is not based necessarily on the policy itself. A MAGA Republican is based on the influence of the constituents in which they try to appease, meaning the dumb. You know what I'm saying? So when I think of a MAGA Republican, I don't necessarily think of the policies that they try to enact. I'm thinking of the appeasement of their constituency. So MAGA more or less is more about the constituency more than anything else. It's about the people that's behind these Republicans. When I think about Trump, I don't think of Trump. I think of Trump as a MAGA Republican based off of the incitement that he's given to a certain mass of people. You know what I mean? Whereas the GOP is more of a I guess you would say covert ideology, whereas MAGA is more of an overt ideology.
Yeah.
One in the same when it comes to policy, but very different people that they attracted, so to speak.
And I've said that to me, that has been Trump's one of his largest pulls was his ability to take politics, which I believe was largely an elitist art form, if you know, for lack of better words, and put it in the hands of the populace. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, catering to his constituency, taking, you know, making it accessible and achievable. To some white people, they would say achievable if they put him in the office. And I think that has been a very big difference. I also think that could be the danger.
You're right. Now ask Black Son that same question. What's a MAGA Republican?
Yeah. Good question. What's a
MAGA
Republican?
No, I agree. I actually agree with MD on that. You know, the thing, and that's why, you know, when you got Ted Cruz trying to shadow Trump, and I'm sure MD probably won't agree with me with that. It's like, man, during his campaign, he's gonna bring out things that the normal GOP and the Democrats aren't gonna bring up. Like, number one, Trump was the first to say we need to stop funding Ukraine. Nobody stepped up and said that because everybody too afraid and too scared. It's like everybody got to put a Ukraine flag in front of their house and play this charade. Trump saying, no, man, that money remains here. Now, I know you and I, Yanga, we discussed how we talked about how whether we agree, indifferent, or whatever it is, Trump is going to put America first. We did agree on that. And so, yeah, I think that dang $8.4 billion and that additional $1,100 billion need to be spent here in the U.S. So, yeah. And the GOP is not doing that. The rhinos are not doing that. They were in line with the damn Democrats per se on the whole Ukrainian war, voting on it. But now that Trump is adding a narrative, now all of a sudden, oh yeah, we want to go against Ukraine. No, well, Trump started that, man. And so yeah, but yeah, that's just my 2 cents.
And that's important. You say that, Black Son, and that's why I said the MAGA Republicans have more of a lemming mentality than anybody else, because when this whole Ukraine thing started, everybody had a Ukraine emoji up in their profile. Yep. It didn't matter if they were Democrat or Republican, only until Trump came out and said that he doesn't like the funding of Ukraine.
Yeah.
Then certain Republicans start switching stance. You know what I mean? Why is that? Because they drawing the line in the sand when it comes to MAGA Republicans and GOP. The GOP still want funding for Ukraine.
Yeah.
They're not gonna say that they don't. I mean, you got DeSantis saying it now, but why is DeSantis saying that? Is it because it's a counter move to Trump, or does that how you really feel? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't saying that 6 months ago.
No, he wasn't. Nope.
Well, listen, let me play and let's get our comment. I want to play another video by the Young Turks. It's talking again about the Trump rally, breaking it down. And since I have y'all up here, you can add your comment. I dropped the links in the chat. It's an open panel. We just rapping on some Trump stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that we got Son up here. Maybe, times that he's going to offer that opposing view. Let's see what happens. But let me get this video up. I want to... Hold on. Share this joint. And then anytime y'all notice a key point and want to say something, just let me know.
All right.
Let's get it in. My internet. It's not the quickest.
Do you love getting high, but smoking hurts your lungs? I've got you covered.
Got those edibles.
You need to try these Delta 9 gummies from Mood.
Got the edibles.
I always get my products from Mood because
we can tell what you've been looking at, Yang.
Highest quality lab tested products.
And they know how to market to you too. That's what scares me about this shit. She come on, do you love getting high? Huh? You got my attention over there. What she talking about, lady? Yeah, this lady talking about. Do you love getting high? Wait a minute, hold on. I don't even be skipping these ads. I'm gonna skip though now. I'm trying to find out about Mood. Mood got watermelon. Look how they got it for niggas. That's fucked up. That's a blue motherfucker. Got big watermelon slice.
Hey, grape.
That's fucked up. Grape. Watermelon and grapes. That's fucked up. That's fucked up.
Oh gosh.
We gonna skip that. I ain't with that. That's cold, man. It's subliminal to the motherfucker. Come on, internet.
Instead, the President of the United States, former President of the United States, opened up with January 6th video, which is insane. He should be running from that, period. I don't care his point of view. That is not a good thing for him. I thought that was absolutely awful.
That was Brian Kilmeade calling Trump insane for supporting the January 6th rioters during his campaign rally in Waco, Texas over the weekend. There's a lot more from where that came from. Why don't we hear more from Kilmeade, and then we'll get into some other Fox News hosts going after Trump. But Jay can't help himself. So
Is Rachel Campos stuff? I think that's her. With her eyes going like this. Okay, so let's watch to see what the other two reactions are in the next.
This is such an opportunity for Republicans just to say, look at what we did. Look at what he's doing. Look at what we had. Look at what he's doing. And I think for President Trump to spend 80% of his time complaining about court cases instead of just looking at his own record and what he would have done. Let me tell you what I would have done to SPG. Let me tell you what I would have done over in to Syria if our guys got hit for the 74th time and twice.
Let me tell you what's the trip. This is Fox News. All right, this is Fox News. And they going in on Trump. I thought this was the home of Trump. But I watched this video a little earlier. They're going to explain why. But when I first saw this video, I was shocked as shit. So this goes into a little bit of what you were talking about, the division in the GOP, or with the MAGA Republicans and the MAGA Republicans in the GOP. All right, let me...
Twice in 2 days. He does that, or other candidates do that, they're going to be unbelievably successful because that's going to be the conversation at the kitchen table. Instead, the President of the United States, former President of the United States, opened up with January 6th video, which is insane. He should be running from that, period. I don't care his point of view. That is not a good thing for him.
No, this is one of those rare instances where Cenk interrupting me makes a lot of sense because I didn't notice that before. Because I'm looking at Kilmeade. He's the one speaking. But look at the discomfort Rachel Campos Duffy and I don't know the name of the other guy are experiencing as Kilmeade is trying to very gently critique Donald Trump for opening his rally with the January 6th choir, by the way, to honor them, the rioters who broke into the Capitol and caused all this havoc.
So first there was the Campos Duffy's look of like towards him, but the other interesting thing was the constant looking to presumably producers. They're like,
what do we do?
What do we do? Should we step in? Is this legal? Is this allowed? He's saying things that are against Trump. That's good. That's what we're doing. Oh, we're doing that now. Okay, all right, then I won't say it. By the way, they are. Kilmeade's a good team player. The memo at Fox is it's okay to hit Trump. We're supporting DeSantis. Now you got to balance it out so you don't lose the entire audience. So Kilmeade's actually towing the company line here. And notice Kilmeade never criticized Trump before Murdoch made the turn.
So what you think about that, man? Are they going so?
Uh-oh, I think we lost Yanga, y'all.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what to do.
Yeah. It'll be back. Right. Hey.
Hi. The politics has arrived, right?
Yes.
Check it out. I don't think any of this shit is really good for us black people. In my opinion, I don't think Biden has ever been good for black people. I definitely don't think Trump's ever been good for black people. It's all bad for black people. And we're not asking the right questions as black people. There's a whole bunch of shit going on. And we're looking at politics that's all going down. And we're not really paying attention. We're only paying attention to certain shit and not paying attention to the big shit. And really what we need to be asking is, why is this really happening? And why are they distracting us with certain shit and not the main shit? But I think we're not doing. What's up, cuz?
Hey, what's cracking, cuz? It's good to see you. How you been?
Sick as a motherfucker, but I'm in here, lost my voice. I came in here because I was like, oh, we talking about politics? I'm all up in the politics right now. So yeah, I don't think this is in regards to your title, Trump's rhetoric dangerous to black people. Isn't everything you do dangerous to black people?
Yeah, I mean, and it has been, but I find this, I think one of the things why I find this particularly more disturbing is because I know it goes into what MD was explaining about a MAGA republic, and no knocks at you, son, but I tend to see, and I don't know many personally, but I tend to see them being of a different social class and caliber. And some of them I don't put over the potential of being violent by misguided ideology, by thinking that if they do enough bullshit in America, if they hurt enough innocent people, if they sow enough disgruntlement through absolute violence and mayhem, that either they are free Trump or somehow give him power. I don't know if they really haven't bitten into this. I think January 6th is a clear indication of the influence he has and the limits that some of his supporters will go to. I mean, it ain't nothing that you can really sneeze at.
Right. And that goes back to Seduction Dog point. Like a lot of the MAGA Republican people, they're not looking at it from that lens. You know what I mean? Trump got them in the tunnel. They can only see one aspect of what the big picture is, right? The GOP got a plan. Am I breaking up? I'm good.
No, you good. You good.
You good.
Okay, all right. The GOP, in a sense, has a more broader scope, right? How do we know that? Because they got Fox News in their back pocket to the point where Fox News is now, even though it might be slight, like they said on the Young Turks, bashing Trump to a certain extent. Trump don't have outlets like that. So his main weapon is his constituents. Whereas the GOP has many aspects to come at all angles with. You know what I mean? So it's a fight for the minds of the people, not necessarily the policy, because it's the policy for the most part are very similar, right? Except for the main point being the whole Ukraine-Russia situation. But I think that's just a talking point that's eventually going to swap anyway. How do I know that? Because DeSantis now saying he don't agree with us giving money to Ukraine.
Yeah.
So it's all policies at the end of the day. Policy is all about right. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, brother. These are major factors. What you say. What it is that we I'm gonna keep it 100. We're only talking about black people, right? We as black people are now becoming what you call program dummies. That's what I like to call it, because we're so much in alignment with whatever the white media is saying to us, that we go whatever direction we think is right. When in all essence, we're not even looking at it ourselves. We don't even need to go with any of these motherfuckers. First of all, if we're not paying attention to what's going on in our own fucking states, our states are being polluted. Our states are being each state is something's going on with our state. Either you have a major train wreck, the weather's acting up, fucking there's pollution everywhere. They have no answers. They're not cleaning up shit. I will take Palestine for example, right? Then when that train crashed, they said, "Oh yeah, we removed all the soil." Where the fuck you put it at?
Right.
Why the fuck
Black Sun's truck? Black Sun hauling that shit.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like real shit though. We didn't ask them questions. When we had a trip, we in Colorado, we had 2 major derailments in like 1 month. What happened to that? Why? They just fixed it, covered it up, and moved on, and programmed us with some extraordinary shit. While these little rugrats out there killing people, what's the cause, right? And you got to think about it. Well, we're not really asking the right questions. That some major shit happens. They act like they take a little accountability for it, pretend to clean the shit up, and move it to a different part of a state. We live in a like with the Russian Ukraine thing, right? Look, black people, that's where your reparations went to the
thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
It's there. While we getting all mad and shit, well, we've been mad, motherfucker. As soon as the Ukraine war started, black people here were like, fuck that. Don't ask us for shit. We ain't getting involved. We don't want to be involved. That's not our shit. And look, it was Professor Black Truth that said we need to be very, very conscientious of what is going on in that war, because everything that goes on in that war is going to deplete us.
That's right. That's right.
And we weren't paying attention. We just allowed them to send our money all the way out there. Everybody leapfrogged over reparations. Fucking LGBTQ, the Ukraine. Everybody got money except for the fucking people that earned it and needed it. Fucking had been asking for it, begging for it, which is black people.
And that's always the case. we bumped last to the list. Let me go back. I want to, because I do want to get through this, guys. Let me go back and play a little bit more. Let's see what and we come in.
And said we're in favor of DeSantis instead of Trump.
That's exactly right, and I have noticed that. By the way, Will Kane is the name of the other Fox and Friends host in that video. So Fox has seemed to turn on Trump to some extent, considering all the negative commentary he's been getting on the network. Another example is actually Stuart Varney, who didn't take kindly to a moment where Trump apparently threatened violence against the Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg. Now, he did this in the context of social media. He was on Truth Social and he posted an article that included imagery of Trump like wielding a bat around. Trump shared the image of himself holding a baseball bat with Bragg's hands up. So the New York Post covered it and they included the image of this on their front page. On his Truth Social platform Thursday, as he devoted his day to attacking the prosecutor for pursuing a case over hush money payments to adult actress Stormy Daniels. The back.
You know what? I didn't know it had. Hold on, family. I got to go back to it. I'm sitting here. Y'all waiting on me.
No, we can hear it.
Yeah, we
hear it. Y'all hear it?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Let me go back there.
Yeah, you good.
Holding a baseball bat with Bragg's hands up. So the New York Post covered it and they included the image of this on their front page. On his Truth Social platform Thursday, as he devoted his day to attacking the prosecutor for pursuing a case over hush money payments to adult actress Stormy Daniels, the bat image was pulled from an article that he shared but was not removed.
Let's talk about that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, see, that to me, that's what I'm talking about. That's one of the things that I'm talking about. That when we already talking about his constituency, the type of people that follow him, and that they can call it veiled. That's blatant. It is a blatant. If you're talking about if you indict me, death and destruction is going to follow. Then you have an image of the prosecuting attorney, the one that's pushing the indictment. Picture with his hands up, and you standing behind him with a baseball bat, looking like Grimace or some damn body. I mean, what do you take from that? Is that not a call to violence, or am I tripping?
Now you ain't tripping. It's a call to do exactly what his constituent wants him to do. You know what I mean? Like he's feeding the people at the end of the day.
Black Son, what does his constituency wanted him to do? Come on, we gotta back up here, man. What's going on with Trump, man?
Give me 1 second. Yeah, you want go around the room until I can pull up what I'm gonna pull up. You know what? Then I'm just gonna tell you what I'm gonna pull up. Goddamn Paris in front of the goddamn White House with a goddamn Uzi 9mm in front of Bush. Come on now, let's stop it. Come on, Yanga.
I mean, you say that to say what? What is the influence? Not many black people know who Paris is. Shit. Not many black MCs know who Paris is. Then you're talking about art. You know, that's the equivalent to me. Yeah, come on. That's the equivalent to me of White House Down. Or one of them other movies where the op blows up the White House and some super secret serviceman saves the president. It's artistic, creative fucking expression. But we're talking about somebody, the former president of the United States, who not only has the influence, but has the real financial back and white privilege in their pocket to really solidify or to really make them a viable, a real life fucking threat. That to me is the difference.
Okay, but what I will say, and I'm taking everything you said into consideration, Yanga. However, both Paris and Trump are practicing what we call the First Amendment, the freedom of speech. So no, I agree with you in a sense, but at the same time, we gotta, like, if we go after Trump, who's to say we don't go after Paris like 20 years later?
Yeah, you know, but when freedom of speech begins to entice or incite people or encourages violence and the destruction of property and stuff. I mean,
so
there
Ice
has to
Cube,
be a pull up.
So Ice Cube's third album didn't entice you? America's Most Wanted?
I mean,
Come
entice
on
me to
now.
what?
I'm just saying. He had a picture of Uncle Sam with a toe tag. NWA say fuck the police. Come on, Yanga. Cop killer by Ice-T.
Okay.
Crooked officer by Ghetto Boys.
I'm glad you said
In
that.
fact,
And did they not? A lot of them, especially that Ice-T. If I'm not mistaken, I think Ice-T was brought up on charges of that, or was actually sued or something behind that. Yes, he was.
No charges.
I
He
believe
was
have
sued.
to look that up. Chat.
Okay.
Can I get a chat that worked for me?
In fact,
I believe he was sued behind that.
Okay.
I wish Madonna Kim is up. Rio. I need somebody in my chat that's a hip hop head. But I think he defined that cop, his heavy metal band. Yeah, I think he had to defend that.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, what are we talking about here? We're talking about giving the people what they want to see. The constituency of MAGA want to see shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it validates what they did J6. You know what I mean? Yeah. All they want is validation. They don't want to feel like they stormed the Capitol in vain.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They did it all because of the ideology of one person. One person.
Yeah.
We talking about an authoritarian rule at this point. And I'm not necessarily saying that's what Trump wants. I mean, probably in his narcissistic mind, he probably do.
He's a megalomaniac. I mean, we just look at, you can't judge a man's heart, and we're not psychic. You know, we're not Madame Cleo, but we look at people's actions, and his actions point towards that, though, MD. I would agree with you.
So then, Yanga, so the cops that escorted Mr. Buffalo Head, do we charge them with inciting terrorism too? Because we had cops escorting them, saying, "Oh, come this way, come." Escorting Buffalo Head
inside the Capitol. I would look at charges of collusion and collaboration. I sure would.
All right. You don't think it's cops? You don't think there's cops that identify as MAGA?
Right.
Yeah, we all know that.
Exactly.
Right.
That doesn't mean a damn thing. That just means they've infiltrated. Shit.
No, what I'm saying,
every movement worth its salt should have some infiltration to a degree.
Okay, because at the beginning of the show you talked about terrorism, but then, like I said, I've seen video clips of Tucker Carlson where it was a slew of police that let Mr. Buffalo Head just go up in there and they come this way, come, and they, you know what I'm saying? So how can we say it's a terrorist act when the police are escorting you?
Then you charge them with collaboration and collusion. You charge them if it was closed to the public, off hours, whatever, and they came in there, and you charge the police with aiding, breaking an entry, unlawful presence, trespass, and whatever.
Yanga, hold on. And Yame said they were told to stand down. So stand down by who?
That's what you find out.
Now we got a collusion here. Wait a minute.
But that's what I'm telling you. That's what makes it dangerous. That's what I'm telling you. That it just goes that deep in there. His influence, and that, my man, is the difference between an Ice Cube. What's up, Inyame? The link's in the chat, brother. Jump up. An Ice Cube and a Paris, as opposed to a Donald Trump. That, my man, is the difference. How deep the conspiracy runs, how deep the infiltration. You know what I'm saying? The shit is real. Yeah.
But Yanga, when Inyame said the cops were told to stand down, they weren't told to stand by him by Trump. They were told to stand by whoever the head powers that be were that was inside that Capitol.
They're following orders. I think that the last I followed it. So all of that, the last I followed it, it was an organized event. All of that was very well organized. That they had discovered.
So Yanga, would you say that the people in the Capitol were in a threatful situation? Correct?
Yes.
Okay, so the same people that felt threatened they're in charge of the cops that were there protecting the Capitol, right?
No.
What? Oh no,
That's
Yankee,
not how
come
that
on.
works. That's not how
That's
that
not how it
works.
works.
No,
Whoa, wait,
that's
wait,
not
wait,
how
wait,
that
wait, wait,
works.
wait, wait,
You
wait,
vote
wait,
for
wait,
those
wait,
police.
wait, whoa, whoa.
There's. Come on, man. If
The
you've been in the
security,
military, you
Yankee.
already know. You
Right,
already
but
know if you've been. So you know
okay.
that yes, the police, yes, the military, essentially works for the people of America. Yes, but there's a chain of command that is followed. Me, a civilian,
I agree with
can't
that.
give them an order to stand down. That came
No,
through a chain
no,
of command, right? So
no, no.
you have to ferret out. You have to go back up all the way to where that order came from. That's your plan.
No, I agree. No, what I'm saying, Yanga, if I hire you for security, right? I say,
Yes.
okay, I'm having an event at, let's say, Tassili's. Okay, we're gonna have an event at Tassili's. I'm hiring you as security. That means it is your job to protect, like Tassili calls me, I call you. So therefore, you got all your people surrounding Tassili's facility, right?
Right.
So to make sure nothing don't jump off, nothing gets stolen, no fights break out, whatever, nobody purse gets stolen. So you're in charge of that, right?
Right.
So as the person who has subcontracted you to protect Tassili's facility, for me to say, Yanga, stand down, that means I got you contracted to hire to protect this facility, and I tell you to stand down. Wait a minute, hold up now. And then what I'm saying is that's the same situation with the Capitol.
No,
those police were okay. Go ahead.
Okay, that's like the same thing. If I hire you to protect me,
yeah,
but I don't know you work for the enemy, that's what I didn't give you the order to stand down. The enemy gave you the order to stand down, and so you followed orders. You betrayed your trust. They were there to protect the Capitol. They failed to perform their duty. They were given orders to stand. Yeah, they failed to perform their duty.
No, Yanyame said they were told to stand down.
Right.
So they didn't fail.
And
no, they're following an order.
Exactly. So what I'm talking about, so whoever gave them the order is guilty. It wasn't the people whose life. Right. So those senators and those people in there whose very lives may have been threatened or were endangered at the least. They didn't give the Capitol Police the order to stand down. It was a well orchestrated plan.
Whoa! Hold up, Yang. You lost me. You're saying that the people that were hired specifically to protect the Capitol, I'm sure that's not their first time protecting the Capitol. I'm sure that's just something that they did.
What about that? Aren't you getting? They were given an order.
Okay. All right, they were given an order.
They were given an order against the best interests of the objective.
I agree.
So the corruption lies within the Capitol Police. The corruption, somebody in there has enough power to issue that order to assist the whole insurrection. They were given an order to stand down so the people could storm the Capitol. So one of your moles is in the police department, in the Capitol Police Department. That's why I say that is dangerous. They've infiltrated.
What? I mean, was it a mole or was it just a person that may have been sympathetic to the cause?
I don't know. I mean, that's where I would definitely have my investigation go. I need to research it. I wonder if they did arrest any police officers for that, because I would have definitely had an investigative team to wonder why the Capitol Police failed to perform their task to the best of their ability, why they were playing fucking ushers and escorting people in.
Well, I mean, first of all, they were like severely undermanned. That was one thing. You know what I mean? Like you only had a handful on one side and like only a couple on the other side.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree with you.
So you at some point you got to fault the head of the Capitol Police for not knowing what was about to go down.
Yeah.
I mean, they said they had intelligence on. Yeah, they said they had intelligence. Well, he could have.
Right, right, that type of thing. Right, you damn sure. Like you said the primary word though, MD, investigate.
Yeah, so I mean, what was it a situation where he knew? Because they said they had prior intelligence of something about to go down.
I heard that too. Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that. Yeah.
So why was it severely undermanned like that? Like I said, you only had about 6 or 7 on that one side where they stormed, and then you had only a couple on the other side
Mm-hmm.
when they breached the cap. When they actually breached the cap through the window.
Yeah.
So if you got prior intelligence on knowing something was about to go down, and then you still fail to moderately man the Capitol in the way it's supposed to be in the first place,
Mm-hmm.
like what are we talking about? I remember a couple years ago when they were saying the lady was trying to drive through the Capitol. You remember that? And they shot her down with a black lady.
The black lady, right?
Yeah, they
I
gunned her
remember that,
down.
man. Good point.
Yeah.
Great point.
I mean, shot her down.
Yeah.
Shot her down like a man. Unbelievable. Great point. Hey,
Yeah.
listen, let me say this though. I got 4 views. I want to have 4 likes up there. Hit them thumbs up. Press the subscribe. Check me out. You know what I'm saying? I don't think this is anybody's first time, but yeah, hit the subscribe, you guys, and share the word, man. Tell them this. You know how we get down the chit chat thing and the fall through.
Yeah, I'm posting right
But
now.
yeah, MD, you made a great point. A great point. Yeah, they shot her down.
Didn't she have a child in the car?
Yeah, she had a child. Yeah. She had a little baby. Yep, she had a baby.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Shit, they ain't playing that damn games. That's what I'm talking about. All right, let's go back a little bit to this video.
Okay. So Stuart Varney, who was also a giant Trump supporter, was not happy about this. And honestly, I think what he's about to say provides a lot of common sense to the Republican Party if they're genuinely concerned about winning in the next election. But it doesn't matter. For diehard Trump supporters, they're not going to hear any of that. So without further ado, let's go to the last video here.
I think America wants that kind of behavior in a presidential candidate. I think they're tired of it. I don't think they like to see him wielding a baseball bat prior to some possible charges in court. I just don't think it goes down well with a majority of people. What do you say?
Well, yeah, no, I think you're exactly right about it. And I think that even in 2016, people would have rather not had to turn to somebody like Donald Trump.
How do you think independents in this country will react?
I don't think he's trying to win independence right now. I think he's trying to win the primary.
He can't win the election without independents.
Right, but
he's got 30% of the Republican Party as his base. He may get them, but if he doesn't have the independents, he can't win.
So in at least 2 separate discussions, Stuart Varney brought up the bat photo and clearly was not happy about it. But he's actually making a good point, and honestly, a point that Republican leadership, I'm sure, is concerned about, which is why they're trying to prop up DeSantis. Donald Trump does well with the Republican base. Clearly, he does not do well when it comes to the rest of the electorate, namely the independent voters who get turned off by some of his antics.
Yeah.
That's what hurt Republicans during the midterm elections, right? All the Trump candidates, most of the Trump candidates didn't perform well once they made it to the general election.
Yeah, so there are no good guys here, but let me break down the 2 different camps. Rachel Campo-Stuffy was the one that kind of halfway debated him for about 3 minutes in one of those instances that we just showed you. And she kept going back to, well, it's a 2-tier justice system, and Donald Trump and his fans are just complaining about the 2-tier justice system.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about this.
Let's talk about that. What is a 2-tier justice system? You guys know what a 2-tier justice system is?
Actually, y'all don't even see what Trump is doing. Oh, brilliant. Oh, y'all don't even see what he's doing. You know who he's tapping into, right?
Who?
He's tapping into the goddamn Kodak Black and goddamn what's his name? The guy, yeah, he's tapping into that crowd. Y'all don't even see it.
He's tapped into that crowd.
He's tapping into it. He's tapping into it, bro. I see it clear as day.
We'll see. Let me see. Let me
Young Turks ain't gonna see it, but I see it clear as day.
You're gonna have to break that down in a minute.
Okay, I will. I will.
Two tiers.
Hey, can I be heard? My bad. I was on mute. My bad. So I assume what they mean by 2-tier justice system is they're talking about state and federal. I can only assume. Maybe you can look it up. Maybe you can look it up, Yanga.
There it goes. I pulled it up. So a 2-tier justice system. Let's see what this 2-tier justice system. 4 words are etched above the doors of the Supreme Court. Equal justice under law. That simple principle should be the foundation of our criminal justice system. But the hard truth is that America has two separate and very unequal justice systems. The first is a justice system exclusively for the wealthy and the well-connected. For decades, Washington has let powerful corporate executives escape accountability, even when they scam millions of Americans or crash the U.S. economy. So a two-tiered justice system is basically
Rich
what
and
we
poor.
go through. Yeah, rich and poor.
All right.
Or rich and
You
poor.
can say white or black. You can say white or black. Yeah, you can say that too.
Well, but I know if you got, from here it looks as if you got the money.
All right.
Then you know what I'm saying. You in a different justice system. It looks like rich or poor. Rich or poor. But it's predominantly going to be white people that get that first tier justice system. You know what I'm saying? They get that preferential treatment.
The rich white people. Got you.
Why do you say he was good? Before we go back to the video, why do you say he's Kodak Black now? He's linking into that crowd. That's interesting.
When I say yeah, I'm glad you asked me that question. He's tapping in to the what I like to call subculture of America, not even just Lil Wayne and Kodak Black, but he's tapping into, like I said, the poor, the trailer parkers, all that. The Trump base shit. So like I said, he's.
So you think Kodak Black is a Trump base supporter?
Kodak, yeah, of course, yeah. Kodak and what's his name? Lil Wayne. Hell yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't. Shit, you schooling me? Okay.
Oh, you didn't know? Oh,
no,
yeah.
I didn't. I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I knew Lil Wayne. I knew Lil Wayne.
Well,
I didn't know Kodak.
Yeah, I knew Lil Wayne, but I don't. Kodak Black is a dumbass. He don't. Like, first of all, he can't even vote. Like, so he may have an influence.
No, hold on. Not to interrupt you, MD. Trump pardoned both of them, so they can own guns.
I know that.
Okay.
But no, Kodak Black, he got other charges on him. He can't do nothing.
Oh, okay. So he got.
Yeah, I know he pardoned him. Yeah, that's cool. But again, like Kodak Black's not advocating for Trump. You know what I mean? Until I see otherwise, like that ain't happening. You know what I mean? So, but again, you were right about the trailer park trash. You're right about that. But you have to understand, we're talking about a certain subset of white folks that has been, for the most part, in their eyes, been isolated and been neglected since the years of Bush Senior.
Absolutely.
So Trump went for a target demographic, and they fell for it lockstep. That's essentially what MAGA is. Make America great again ain't for you or me or any other Republican that's in a executive position.
Yeah.
It's for those people. Now the question should be, is that enough to win the election? To me, I don't think so, because again, just like they said, you got a lot of people that's indifferent to either party. Meaning and I would say for the most part that would be me, because I don't vote for people, I vote for policy.
Right.
And MAGA and GOP have similar policy. The issue is a lot of people don't want to deal with the antics that MAGA go through, whether it's Trump, whether it's Marjorie Taylor Greene, whether it's the guy out there in Arizona. A lot of people just don't want to deal with this shit. Now, this is what I said. This was a crack in the window in terms of black people. I think we missed the mark by not taking advantage of this whole situation with drawing the line in the sand. But as black people, we don't deal with policy. We deal with the people.
Right. Good point. Good point.
If we were smart, once this whole line in the sand was drawn, that was our opportunity to infiltrate the Republican Party. That's what I would have did if I was in a position of power. But hey, who am I? You know what I mean? I think that was a golden opportunity for you to finally get a political identity. And the Republican Party, despite I don't give a damn what you call it. You could have called it the Purple People. I don't give a damn. it would have been a position where you could infiltrate and take over it from a policy standpoint. We fucked up on that end. And I think now with the two armies being formulated, we missed out on that. Because now it's a clear-cut opposition. It's GOP, it's DeSantis versus Trump, MAGA. And you're gonna start seeing all the pieces on the chessboard get placed. And then come next year, 2024, they're gonna start the game.
Yeah. Wow.
And yet for another year, you ain't gonna be on that chessboard.
You better believe. Please believe. All right, let's get some more of this video. We're working our way through, man. I definitely appreciate y'all support, man.
Yeah, appreciate you for having us, bro.
If anyone else committed the kind of tax fraud that Donald Trump had committed, the kind of financial fraud that Donald Trump committed, they'd be in prison right now.
100%. What I talked about, right? It's that the right wing, especially within the right wing, have never been held accountable their whole lives. There's almost no rule of law for them. So that's why when the idea of being held accountable is a new concept to them. For the left wing, we're always under the thumb of the law, right? But for a lot of the powerful people in the right wing, they've never heard of it, right? Like the idea that a rich Republican can go to jail, that's just, it's just such a foreign concept. That's why they're like shocked. They're like, did you guys know that in the justice system, that if you break the law, you can go to jail? Yeah, the rest of us all already knew that. The ironic thing is there is a two-tier justice system. You're just in the tier that never gets held accountable. And now you're shocked to find out that you might be held accountable. Anyway, so that's that camp that says we can break the law if we want to, because we're right-wingers. The Stuart Varney camp is, guys, you're gonna cost us the election, and how we're gonna get tax cuts for the rich if you cost us the election? He doesn't care about the bats or anything like that, and neither does Murdoch. They're just like, we need
a pause here, man. And I'll take a quick pause. And I'm not trying to turn this into a school lesson, but they're talking on some stuff that I think that we need to know. So let's do. They use two words. I want to go here: right wing and left wing. And I know we hear that a lot. And I don't know if we really understand. I'm not saying us on the panel. I'm just, thinking out there, man, education is the key to me. Informed people make informed decisions. That really what they be talking about when they say that. So just wanted to pull up a little article real quick. It's brief. And I'll read it briefly. Hold on, give me a second here.
Well, I'll give a brief synopsis, and you'll go into more detail. So, historically, from my research, right wing, when we talk about a political system, right wing usually means the political ideology of a free enterprise or free market capitalism.
Right.
You know what I mean? That when you think of right wing historically, that's what you think of. Whereas the left wing has always been more socialistic in terms of the ideology of democracy. That's just giving a brief synopsis on the terms. You know what I mean? There's always been a social ideology within the United States. There's never been where it's always just been all free market all the time. No. There's always been a certain sliver of that type of ideology in politics. So when you think of the term left wing, right wing, that's usually what you think of in terms of what the terms mean. Or conservative liberal in today's
terms. I couldn't have put it better. I shouldn't have, all this time it took for the computer to load, I should have just had already asked you. But yeah, that's essentially it in a nutshell. But since
he dropped off. He dropped off again.
Yeah, his internet connection, y'all. Yeah, y'all bear with him. I think he's using that Wi-Fi. So yeah, y'all bear with him. Yeah, he's
But yeah, like I said, historically, that's what those terms have meant.
That's right.
Whether it's been and those terms have been interchangeable with a lot of different ideologies in politics. Like and I'm just speaking on U.S.
Right.
Whether it was the Whigs back in the day,
Tories,
or your traditional Dixiecrat.
Mm-hmm.
They've always looked at, and those terms have been swapped on sides before. You know what I mean? Like left wing and right wing isn't synonymous with a particular party. It's just the ideology at that time. You know what I mean? In our lifetimes, it's always been the Republicans were considered the right wingers, and the Democrats were the left wing.
Yep, that's right.
You know, in recent history,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not always been the case. You know what I mean? And it's different in different parts of the world. Like those ideas, that's not a term that's indicative of just the United States. You know what I mean? Like that's
right.
What term is that? I got knocked off. What term is that?
No, we still talking about left wing, right wing.
Right wing, right. And essentially, I don't know if I tried to read the definition, I may have got kicked off. I don't know how much you heard, but it basically just concurred with everything you said. You know, right wing. You know, to reiterate again, and I'm sure MD was breaking it down. Right wing is more individual power, empowerment, limited role of the government. You know, and left wing is just that, an expanded role of government, you know, and however those things look. So that's essentially what the brother is saying, or the guy is saying there on the program. You about to say something?
No. I thought that was Black Son.
No. Yeah.
All right.
That's right. Yeah.
So we do more tax cuts for the rich.
No, that's exactly right.
Right. So it's not like he's a good guy. He's just pointing out elementary politics.
Yeah, I still hear that.
Yeah, I hear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Elementary politics to the viewers is just taking this massive risk because of how they're going to react to it.
100%. By the way, we have that on the left too. If you point out super elementary politics, the extreme leftists, they're like, no. Okay. So everybody's got their incredibly counterproductive litmus tests. But anyway, the right wing has mastered the course in that. Unfortunately, it's the majority of the party, not a fringe little part of it. So now, last thing is, Trump, he does an ode to the January 6th rioters in the beginning. Okay, look, kill me is outraged as if this is the first time he's ever heard of it. We're all super used to it. But my point isn't that. My point is, so if you're doing an ode to them, forget the ode. Why don't you give them money? They're in prison now.
Real facts. They get some cookie pies or something.
Some people in that crowd in Waco, Texas. So why don't you come out to the speech? And by the way, you get tons of shit. Say, you know what? I'm giving $100 million to their defense fund.
I'm going to cover their legal fees.
Or I'm just going to forget you. You probably don't need anywhere near $100 million. I'm going to cover their legal fees. He's not giving them one dime, $0.
Nothing.
That's what he's giving them. Because Trump is a fraud. He's the most obvious con man in the world. Right wing. I don't like your brand of populism. The economic stuff we can maybe one day off in the future unite on. Your culture war stuff is toxic. But if you're going to pick a populist, couldn't you pick one that was a quarter honest, whose main thing isn't robbing you guys? I mean, he does the biggest robbery of you, not us.
The problem is Trump is a showman. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in a political environment that has increasingly become more about culture wars and cults of personality, someone like Donald Trump, who can dunk on other Republicans as well as he does, is appealing to the voters, right? Because all of us, it's not just Republican voters, all of us at this point have been so conditioned to expect so little from our elected lawmakers
100%.
and from our politicians. And so politics has just turned into a blood sport. It's turned into a massive, ridiculous reality show. And that is what I think a lot of voters judge candidates on to some extent.
No, Anna, you're 100% right. You're forcing me.
Is that what it's coming? Is Trump the Wizard of Oz and his politics just one big show? Is that what it's come to? It's just all one big joke.
I mean, like I said, maybe in his narcissistic mind that may be the case, but you got millions and millions of people that believe the shit that he say. That and that's what I mean by MAGA. You know what I mean? Just think of it this way: when Trump was, and I seen an interview with Trump when he was running back in back in 2016. When he, and this was right after he had the when he went to the church and had the pastors and everybody was calling the pastors
Yeah,
coons and everything.
yeah.
He was saying my ultimate goal is to unite the southern middle class, the lower middle class white with the southern black. He said if I do that, I could be president
I remember that.
forever. That's what he said, and I totally agree. So I don't see it happening, me personally. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I can't stop anybody from being a bigot. I can't stop nobody from being a racist. But where can we meet on the policy plane to meet both of our terms, right? I don't think I think that our positions are so opposed from a polarity standpoint, like it just ain't possible.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
It's just a certain amount of white people that don't want my black ass here. I get
That's
that.
it. At the end of the day,
I get it, but do I care? No.
no. So that's the thing. Do we vest in a promise? Like I think that's what some people say. The current system. Let's get this out of the way. Current system sucks. Okay, but we're in it. We're talking about it as it stands now. So you have people to say, okay, the current system sucks. It is what it is, though. We're getting these little benefits. Do we put all our eggs in one basket and go out with a man whose power base is largely bigots and fucking racists, and then say, oh yeah, you're really going to unite poor crack of trash with Southern black people? Do we give up on the little bit you have? Like they say, a bird in the hand beats two in the bush. Do you say, okay, yeah, we cast our vote with you, but we're looking at your constituency. We're looking at them. So do we just, play dumb and say, okay, yeah, we're riding with you, and we're believing in Make America Great Again?
That goes back to my point though, Yang. That's why it was so important. We had a small crack in the window when this whole rupture happened between GOP and MAGA. We had a small crack in the window to invest on the political side of the GOP. Again, if I was in it, in a position of power, that's what I would have tried to influence black people to do. Here's your opportunity right here. You're knocking out two birds with one stone. You directly taking on the racist ideology of white folks, because all of them is MAGA, despite what you say. Also, you're placing yourself on the chessboard politically. You're finally being ahead of the political process. As a Democrat, you don't got that. I'm just sorry. Midterms were so important. I talked to Black Son about this. These midterms were vastly important because it showed people are trying to get away from the rhetoric, like you said, because it's toxic. To a certain group of white folks, it's toxic. Like even the folks, like, hey man, like I can't do it. You know what I mean? This was your opportunity to amass yourself, bring your own ideology within the political system. This was the opportunity. You can't do it with the Democrats because they think it for you.
Well, see, I
had
think
an opportunity to do it.
Yeah, but you
Go ahead.
Man, that is such a large political education campaign you would have to launch, because two things happen here. One, the Democrats use Trump as a distraction for even proposing that, because they painted Trump as a Republican. The Republicans already especially for the voting age now and people voting now, now a few more black people may be peeping into the Republican Party again, but it had lost a lot of its steam, especially when you have Reagan come in and it was just downhill. Republicans was just downhill after that. Reagan, Bush, and so on and so forth. So they had become blatant enemies of the black community, with their tough on crime and all of this shit, this war on drugs and this type of shit. So our relationship with the Republican Party is like that with the police. Shit is hit or miss. You call them, they just might beat your ass, or they might catch the damn culprit. So I
Yeah,
think that
but
you're right.
that's why. But that's why you catch the paradigm with the split between the GOP and the MAGAs, because those same people that are against, those GOP Bushites and Cheneys and shit, they're against Trump. In fact, they're lock, stock, barrel with the goddamn Clintons and shit.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. By how are you going to elicit? How are you going to get the black participation in the Republican Party? I'm saying generally, they don't even. We don't even want to be that bothered to know the internal workings. Generally, going over to a party that, like I said, and largely I've been the Republican Party that I know, and my disdain for them is a Reagan Republican Party. So the
Right.
politics that I have taught in my house have not been very pro motherfucking Republican Party. Pro conservative certain things, but not pro Republican Party. So when you talk about that and it being passed down, and so the people that I influenced directly, they're in their 30s now and they're influencing
Right.
their children. How do you even get them to look at the Republican Party as a viable solution to the problem that we're facing when not only historically but through teachings, the Republican Party has been an enemy to black people?
Well,
Well, again, you're right. It's gonna take a vast, a long, a very tedious political education reformation to that aspect. First you're gonna have to deal with the historical context of the Republican Party and then go from there. Again, how many times when it comes to the Democrats, I remember when Obama got elected, Tavis Smiley damn near started crying when he was talking about it when he was on PBS. Once Obama got out of office, what did Tavis Smiley say? He had his state of Black America.
yeah.
Obama didn't do a damn thing for black folks.
Mm-hmm.
How many times we gonna go through that? Every time a Democratic president gets elected, we say the same thing after they turn. That was a very lackluster reign when it comes to this particular president. We say it every single time. We gonna say it when Biden get up out of here. You know what I mean? I think first and foremost we have to stop looking at, again, it's the policy, not the people. We got to stop equating the Republican Party to the people that's in power of the Republican Party right now. If we were smart, we would find ourselves in a position where we can dictate the policy within. I don't give a damn if it's Democrat or Republican. We tried with the Democratic Party, but now we just the gatekeeper. That's our position. Our position is to open the gate for everybody else to get their social reform.
Real talk.
That's real talk. Yeah.
Real talk.
That's our position. We gonna have to quit that job. We're gonna have to quit that job. We may be in the unemployment line for a while. Who knows? But we're gonna have to eventually quit that job so we can get a better rate of pay when it comes to political equity. Because being the gatekeeper ain't the move.
Well, both of them, and that's why I say, really, politics it's a funny horse, and you're right, because both of them at this point and stage in the game, both of them are inviting black people to sell out. I totally agree. The Democratic Party has been the gatekeeper for every movement to come advance off our back like you wouldn't believe. However, you got these Negroes. What's that black woman's name? Candace Owens or
Candace
something?
Owens, yeah.
Yeah, Candace Owens, yeah.
Who is getting a nice paycheck for doing what she does. You know
right.
what I'm saying? So it's both of them are offering paychecks. I think at some point in time, though, when looking at policies, we have to look at our personal take. I think what affects us as black people, one of the many things that affects us, is how we perceive ourselves. Do we perceive ourselves as individuals, or do we perceive ourselves communal? Do we perceive ourselves as American, or a form of American, as a black American, an American but separate from participating in America equitably? It's how we view ourselves in the politics that we address, and some of the politics of I think the Republican Party leaves some areas to be desired for social reform. And then I think in my critique of the Democratic Party is just the opposite. Too much fucking social reform and not enough incentive and programs for individuals who make a community to upward mobility and to better their quality of life. You know, so I'm one of them
Yeah, I agree
assholes that
with
sit on the fence and throw rocks at everybody.
Yeah, and I get it, but like I said, on the Republican side,
Mm-hmm.
even what Candace Owens do, that's a low level position. She's just a commentator. She ain't got no clout. Like she's there to spew the rhetoric to defy what black people are doing on the left. That's all she's there for. She don't got no position of influence when it comes to changing no
A
policy.
gatekeeper, right? That's what I'm
She
talking
a
about. A
gatekeeper.
gatekeeper.
I wouldn't necessarily call her a gatekeeper. I call her the person throwing the rocks at the person that's the gatekeeper.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what I would call her. She's not in no position to gatekeep anything because few black people are entering the gate of the Republican Party. You know what I mean? And with no policy there, there's nothing to do. I mean, name it right now. Who's your highest level black person in the Republican Party right now? It's the guy that they.
What's that bald-headed guy's name? He's bald-headed. Is that him? What's that bald-headed guy's name? He's gonna make me look him up. I think he's out. I want to say New York. I can't think, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you got the guy who they nominated for the House chair. Who was that? Black son. But before they nominated Kevin McCarthy. Remember they were trying to get that black guy. You got him. I mean, you got a couple of Republicans, like they meaningless. You know what I'm saying? You can't use Clarence Thomas because he's not in a legislative position. He a Supreme Court justice.
Right.
All he there for is to enforce the legislation. He ain't making no legislation, so you can't use him. So that's what I mean. Like we have to get in these positions in order to change the legislation. The black Republicans ain't trying to change the legislation. They're merely there to defy what the left is doing. Then you got the left black Democrats. They're only there to again gatekeep. They're not trying to come up with no legislation. HR 40 been on the House table for damn near 35, 40 years, just sitting there collecting dust. Even though I don't agree with HR 40, I think it needs to be edited to be better from a modern standpoint. But at least hell they wrote it. But it's just been sitting there all the while. Everybody else is getting policy change for them, and you just letting them in the gate with your bellhop hat on and your jacket, letting them in, and that's the issue. At what point in time do you deem it right and exact to get specific policy for specific people?
Right.
The Democrats, they don't want to do that because they're like I said, and it goes back to the socialistic ideology. Due to the socialistic ideology, you deem it unnecessary to do anything for specific people, but that's not right. You know what I mean? That's not right at all.
Brian Donalds, is that his name?
Oh hell,
Baron Donalds of Florida.
That may be him. That may be him. But yeah, it's only a couple black Republicans in the House. Only a couple.
Conservatives opposed to Kevin McCarthy nominated Representative Byron Donalds on the 4th ballot on Wednesday.
Yeah, Byron Donalds. That's his name. Byron Donalds.
Byron Donalds. Okay. Byron Donalds. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to look up Byron Donalds. That's my homework assignment. Listen, guys, I'm about to wind it down, man. I'm going on my second hour. I appreciate you guys. It's been something like a reunion. I appreciate you guys coming up, kicking it, hanging out. You know what I'm saying? Talking about Trump's ass. Giving some very insightful perspectives, you know, and that's what's up, man. So what? Any closing words, man? Comments, commentaries? What you would be on the lookout for? Give some closing words. MD, we'll start with you.
I mean, yeah, man, good show, man. We were supposed to do a show later on, but hell, I think we covered a lot of stuff that we was gonna talk about in this. Black Son, you got anything? You still trying to do the show later on?
I mean, it's up to y'all, man. If y'all want to do it, it's up to y'all. Shoot, I'm
I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm cooling, man. I'm on my way to the house now, but yeah, that's it for me, man. Arena abroad on Thursday, then I got my house session Sunday.
Okay, man. Looking
Cool,
out. Yeah,
cool.
man. Looking out. Son, you have some last words?
Yeah, man. Like I said, real quick, just like I said, the whole educational thing with the Republican Party, you got to let them know that it's a split now. It's a split. So yeah, same. Yeah, you still got the Bushites, the Cheneyites, but now you got the Trumpites. So it's a whole another paradigm. We gotta keep get abreast on that, man. When things are shifting, we got to be abreast on what's going on because, like MD said, we got to use that as a strategic position. I mean, on both sides, you know what I'm saying? Both sides, whether you be Democrat or Republican, you got to pay attention to the shifts that are happening. So yeah, that's my closing.
Man, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Definitely, I appreciate you guys for following through. Listen, man, if y'all fell through, hit that like button. Give me the little thumbs up, a thingamajigger. Hit
Absolutely.
that thing, yo. Subscribe. Tell your peoples about. Check me out when I come on there. Hit the notification button because I'm sporadic as you wouldn't believe. Yeah, man. Look, my man's Hound Session Sunday, MD coming to the league. Shouts out to SVDL, Solar Vision Debate League, the only league to the commissioners and its debaters. Hound Session, let's show up, let's show out. We're going to give you an introduction, MD. I want to give you an introduction, man. I want us to show up and be able to give you that introduction
Yeah,
to
and
SVDL.
again, I only got a small time frame. Like I got to get my 3 in quick, so I'm talking shit about everybody.
Hey man, I heard that. I heard that. I may give you one just on the GP, man, just because you're that guy. So, definitely, man, get his 3 in. He's trying to get in there. Shouts out to him. Rio and I have a debate. April the 9th. Who was the intended sacrifice of Abraham, Ishmael or Isaac? And I'm taking Ishmael. So that's going to be interesting. Check it out. It's going to be my first religious debate. I'm looking forward to it, actually. Like I said, and then, it gave me an opportunity to study. I'm putting my debate together. I'm walking around. They think he's Minister Howell. I'm Minister Yang. I have become Imam Sheikh, Minister Yang. I've been in this Bible so deep, I'm scaring me. I heard the Lord call and said, Yanga, Lord, is that you? You're going to win this thing. Thank you, Lord. I mean, I'm getting deep, yo. I'm getting deep. I ain't never been in the Bible so hard, man. It's startling me. I see why these young men take those debates. It's interesting. Yo, it is interesting. And then, like, the way the Bible's set up, you got to get into bloodlines. Like in my debate but I'm not even gonna give an inkling. You can't snooze on Rio. I'm not giving him a sniff of it. But yo, check us out. April 9th, man. Interesting debate. Who was the intended sacrifice of the father Abraham? May God's peace be upon Abraham, Ishmael, or Isaac. May God's peace be upon both of them. So with that, man, I'm a send the shouts out. I appreciate you guys following through. Shouts out to SVDL. Hit the notification button so you can catch me. Shouts out to my chat. Thank you guys for participating, for interesting comments, and just keeping the show crunk and shit. Keep doing it and spread the word. Peace.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.